Hi there, my name is Michelle, and today I'm going to help you ace that interview and walk away knowing exactly where you stand against your competition and what the client thought of you. Whether you're a high school student, a college graduate, your mid level career, or you're just changing jobs, it doesn't matter. All of these techniques can be applied across the board, because it's really about how you engage that client and what feedback you get from that client. So, with that being said, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have been in IT and engineering recruiting for about almost 7 years or so now. And I have been with one of the larger firms who recruits Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 candidates throughout the country and even internationally in some cases. I've been on both sides of the fence, actually recruiting, which I still do, sales, client relations, and associate relations. So I've kind of done it all, front end and back end office. So with that, I've gained a lot of experience and understanding of exactly what the client wants to see and how to posture my candidates to get the jobs. So first thing you're going to see is all across the web, okay? Preparation. Yeah, preparation is great. It's great. You do LinkedIn, you go out there, you look at the company's website, you pull up their stocks, you understand exactly where they are on the market, you pull any type of news articles on them that you can find. What I say, set up Google notifications, okay? There's a Google notification that you can set up for any company. Set it up if you've applied to that company so that you will know exactly what's going on with them in the news. Second thing, the job requirements. Fully understand exactly what's needed in that particular job. Look at the company culture itself. Go out there on Glassdoor and see exactly what other people are saying about this particular company. Is it a company that's going to be a good fit for you? If it's not going to be a good fit, do not apply. If you don't like the things that they're saying out there, do not apply. Next thing, the details of your resume. Know the details of your resume. Fully understand exactly what your resume says about you and whether or not your resume actually speaks to that particular job that you're applying to. Last thing, in preparation, make multiple copies of your resume, because when you get to that in-person interview with them, you're going to want to have multiple copies. Sometimes the client does not have your actual hard copy resume in front of them. They just have exactly what was sent in that's online. Therefore, they may want to make notes and they may ask you for another copy of your resume. If you have a phone interview, use a landline or make sure it's a very strong cell signal. Make sure your surroundings are quiet and that you're not going to be interrupted. Have your resume in front of you. Have some energy in your voice. Be friendly, but don't be over friendly, okay? Do not get into your personal life to a level that would be considered unprofessional. Regardless of how comfortable you feel, there are certain things that you should not share with the client. You shouldn't tell the client that you just went out and got drunk last night. That's not a good look. So do not do that. One thing that I always tell my candidates, stand so that your voice elevates. The pitch of your voice will elevate and that you're clear. Always be professional for the in-person interview, regardless of what the company culture is, whether they dress casual, whether they dress business casual. Wear a suit, wear a dress, a nice dress, a pair of heels, hose. Make sure that you put on a tie. Wear business colors. And I mean, you can jazz up some business colors now, to be quite honest with you, though. You can put an orange shirt under a navy blue suit to stand out so that you'll be memorable. So, always be on time. You know that. That's a given, okay? In-person interview, take a minimum of 4 copies of your resume, because you may be interviewing with one person, But they may schedule the interview with one person, but you may end up interviewing with an entire team. So be prepared to have 4 copies of that resume at a minimum. You're going to greet, you understand, you're going to do the firm handshake, etc. When you respond to the questions that they ask, make sure that your responses are succinct. Do not give yes or no answers. 15 to 30 seconds on the questions that they ask. Do not, and I repeat, do not give yes and no answers. That is not part of the interview process. That's not what they want to hear. They're asking you that question for a reason because they're wanting to delve into it. Have a list of questions beforehand. Next thing, have a list of questions when you go. That's part of your preparation, to make sure that you've got a good list of questions and not just general things that you could have researched and found. Ask them exactly what their company culture is, like. Exactly what do they expect from you? How are they going to measure your performance? Those are key things to ask them. Make sure that you keep the conversation professional. Make sure that you do not become too friendly with that client. Never lie or misrepresent your experience, because I'm telling you, there are ways that we can find out exactly what's going on, exactly what your experience were, even what your salary history was. So even if you don't have the experience, tell them, phrase it in a way that is not a lie. While I have not worked with this particular tool, I have worked with this particular tool, which is similar. Or while I've not done this, then I have done this in this particular area. So phrase it in a way that it doesn't become a lie and then you look like you're misrepresenting yourself. As far as consulting positions, if there's a question about salary, make sure that you refer them back to your consulting company, because that's who negotiates the salary, not you. That's not your job, because they are billing you at a particular rate. And regardless of whether you feel like that they are making too much of a profit on you, it's not your job to negotiate that rate. And matter of fact, a lot of times the clients will try to ask you what you're being paid, and it will cause issues between you and the consulting company, and you will end out losing on that job opportunity because the client doesn't want that issue brought into their facility. If it's a full-time position, be honest about your salary, be honest about your history, and tell them exactly what you want to make. But make sure that you sell yourself and tell them why you feel like you need to make this particular salary. Last thing, the most important thing, wrap up your interview asking for the job. It's a part of sales. You're selling yourself. So ask for the job. Once they have finished their questions and they're slowing down, ask them, is there anything additional that you would like to know about me? Have I answered all your questions? Once you get a no, that you've answered all their questions, they don't need to know anything additional about you, ask them, okay, great. So is there any reason that you feel like I wouldn't be a good fit for this job? Once they say no, next question, boom. When can I start? People may think that that's a bit forward, but let me tell you what it's going to do for you. It's going to help you understand exactly where you fit with that client, what their thoughts were about you, and what the interviewing process is. Sometimes they may say, okay, well, I've got 3 other candidates to interview. Sometimes they may say, I don't have any other questions, but I've got to talk to my team. You walk away understanding exactly where you fit, what that client thought about you, that they didn't have any more questions, and that either you're a good candidate or they're going to pass on you. So, with that being said, I know I'm running a little bit long, but thank you for your time, and I certainly hope that this was something that's going to be able to help you in your interviewing process going forward, and that I've given you some information that you don't normally find out there on the web. Insider tips. Thanks. Have a good evening, and best of luck on your next interview.